Right, so we are starting over. We already had people logged in, but I had to end that feed. I had to end that because I don't know what I did. I must have clicked on an old link and I created a new link, and that's just for privacy matters. That I'll create a okay. I'll create a new link. Okay, Miss Marks, I see you are on your phone. You can get off on your phone. Who is this right here?
Alrighty.
Who is this? Who is Terry? Is that
Terry
Sharita?
is a lady from my old job. She's I just called her.
Okay, so she don't need the link. She can just either go to YouTube or Facebook or but she can just stay on here right there if she wants to. But Miss Marks, you can go ahead and get off your phone so we don't have any feedback or anything like that. First of all, please accept my apologies. Definitely did something with the link that must have created a new link. So first of all, I'd like to start with the Joneses to my right. We have Karma Davis Jones and we have James Jones Jr., correct?
Yeah.
You guys can introduce yourself and just let the audience know how long you guys have been married, and then we'll go around. We'll do a round robin on introductions.
Go ahead.
James Jones. Yeah.
That's the go. That's the
Oh.
one. That's
We've
the
been married. Excuse me. I'm sorry. 18 years. 19 in August. August would be 19 years. We've been together 20 though. So,
Okay. Okay. And who is that lovely woman next to you?
oh, that's a friend of mine I met.
Ah,
We ain't gonna make it to 19, y'all.
That's my wonderful wife.
I'm Karma Davis Jones. Yeah, we've been married, and we renewed our vows at 10 years.
Mhm.
Right, we renewed our vows.
I was there for both
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah,
Look, I was there for both of them. Okay. And below here we have the Marks, Tawanda Marks, Tawanda Lynn Marks, and brother Kenneth Marks. Can you guys introduce yourself and tell us a little about how long you guys been married?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kenneth Marks. This beautiful angel over here next to me. We've been married for 35 years, but we've been together for 42.
Okay. Whoa. Whoa. That's a lot.
Standing over.
yes.
And this is my better half, and he asked me to renew our vows, and I told him, "Are you crazy? I didn't want to think I'm stupid." He was asking me after 30 years, "Let's renew the vows." I'm like, "Oh no!"
Wow.
Okay, and to the right here we have Dr. Tim Hill. I met him on our trip to Dubai.
Yeah.
We had an amazing time. Him and his wife are amazing people, and I just want to say, thank God that I was able to. The reason we're starting late is because Tim and his wife Sharita, they are relationship therapists, and they are booked and busy. I went online and I seen all these workshops and stuff. I said, "Oh my goodness!" And I was like, "Tim," he said, "Well, if you can start at 8, because I have to. My mom is coming in town. If you can start," I said, "I definitely can," because I didn't want to rebook anybody. So I want to thank everyone for making concessions to me, and thank you, Dr. Hill, for being able to come in. I mean, on a 2 or 3 day notice. And then when I say booked and busy, he is booked and busy.
Yeah,
so, Tim, go ahead, and Dr. Hill, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself.
Absolutely. I am the CEO and lead clinician of Inspire Counseling and the CEO of Inspire Education as well. So what we do is our job is to reconcile families and however that looks like. Mm-hmm. So whether that's the couples, whether that's the kids and the families, whether that's the school, however that looks like, we're all about that action. Me and my wife, we see couples every single day. And so she's right. We are booked out. I think right now it's a 2-month waiting list to get in with us.
Wow.
So it's a blessing, but part of it is just because we just give them tools and resources that they can use, and they feel empowered and then we find that what we give them work. And so we're gonna share a lot of what I do actually in session with y'all, and then so hopefully I'll get some good stuff too before we leave here tonight.
Okay. Y'all hear that? I love that he said bring families together, whatever that looks like, because the family dynamic is so different from what it was when we grew up. So just to know that you are on board with the whatever it takes, whatever that looks like. That means meeting people where they are and trying to grow from there. That's what I got from it. Okay, Sharita, we got Sharita, Mrs. Hill on the phone. Sharita, introduce yourself.
I don't even know if she's there.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know if she's there.
Okay.
She got the kids tonight, so she's hitting the other duty.
Okay. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So y'all know on this podcast, we shout out people in real time. We answer questions in real time. So there may be questions coming across the screen all night. And so first I want to ask a couple of questions. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Marks, you guys have been together for 42 years. How does two people stay together for 42 years? What advice would you give people as far as staying together?
Well, as far as Tawanda and I think the best thing that we had going for us is we try to keep God first, always. The second thing, we try to keep each other first.
Yes.
And we try to laugh. We try to have fun with each other, you know. A lot of couples these days don't spend enough time together doing things together. And so we try to do a lot together.
And y'all do.
We try to shop together. We try to eat together. We try to do our chores together, you know, and we just know that we are each other's best friends. Yeah. And that we truly know that we're the only ones that we really can count on to be there through thick and thin. Because there's always been, like everybody will know, it's going to be some good days, going to be some bad days. But I always find it, just never take it so seriously that you can't forgive each other and you can't move on.
Oh my goodness, that was so powerful. I'm going to tell you what I got from that. Is basically, you know, just the little things like going shopping together. That's not something that would, you know, that would just enter my mind. Going shopping together. Now, our family has always eaten together. That's something we do 4 or 5 days a week. When we're together, you cannot take your plates to. You can probably do that once or twice a week. You can take your plates to whatever room you're in. But my mother, ever since we were kids, and when we were kids, we ate at the table every single day. You know, back then they didn't let you take no plates nowhere. You set your ass at the table and you ate. And that if you didn't like what was on the plate, then you'll be hungry for school tomorrow when you go to breakfast. There you go, right there. Let's go to the Joneses. So you guys have been together for 18 years. That's a long time, especially in this day and age. That's a marathon. So what works for you guys being together?
I think the most is just love and just family too. Just family, like just to feed off of what they said too. Family first, and we're getting there as far as spending time together. That's why I got to keep telling him. He always keeps me laughing every day. He keeps me laughing. He is. So he does that part, but it's the spending the time together to me to make us grow closer together. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Time together is kind of like a new thing for us. When we came in, we had 7, 8 kids.
Oh yes, I did.
School and stuff. So we actually, the better word, we put our lives on the back burner, not knowing this is what we're doing. So we're really in the last 3-4 years just starting our marriage.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is.
So
we had like 9 kids in our house at one time.
Yes, I remember. Look, I remember.
We had other people kids in here. Other people kids. And grandkids are still always here. We raised our grandkids kind of too. So we're just not really spending time by ourselves now.
That's right. Getting to know each other.
Right.
That's right.
I'm gonna bring the doctor in on this because I know just from my psychology classes, and I don't profess to be a Dr. Hill. This is my little criminal justice degree where you had to take psychology.
Yeah, right.
So I do know that when you have a full house for so long, and you put so many people in front of you first, It can, without you even knowing it, it can put a strain on your relationship, and still without you knowing it, because you're used to it being there. And then once all of that is gone, you're looking like, okay, well, what are we supposed to do? So
Right.
Dr. Hill, I'm sure you have heard this plenty of times where even like when women have babies, and sometimes they, you know, the dynamic of the relationship is going to change because she just had a whole person.
Right, right.
Things change. Like, let's start with the Joneses. Like, they had kids. I mean, and I know for a fact, I mean, they only had a few kids that they were responsible for, but they end up being responsible for about 11, being surrogates to 11 kids. So, and you heard what they said about the relationship and stuff like that. So what type of advice would you have on someone who has been putting everybody else first before them in their relationship?
That's a good question.
That's a great question, as a matter of fact, because a lot of times we see these kids as our responsibility, as, hey, this is my source of providing, my source of responsibility. And oftentimes we, depending on the role that we share as far as parentally, we might say, hey, husband, wife, I need you to take a back burner on the feeling wise because I'm trying to tend to these kids. The problem with that is that how long is that back burner, right? Is it going to be just for the day? Is it for a month? Oftentimes, especially in our Black families, it's often years, right? And so how do we reclaim that? Because now we've been disconnected for so long that how do we reclaim that relationship that has been neglected for so long, right? Easy way. One of the easy ways, I think the Marx has said it, spend time with each other, right? Like, how do you even know this person? Because y'all were so busy in the struggle on the grind that y'all forgot how to love sometimes, right? How to be that friendship.
Yes, that's true.
Reclaim that, find that. What got y'all back together is oftentimes the thing that reconcile the relationship back to the way to make it whole again. And so finding that what makes it special, whether that's you guys going out the way you used to, whether that might be just dancing in the kitchen like y'all used to, finding what it is for you and then continue to do it.
Thank you. That was very enlightening.
Very nice.
Mr. Hill, think about that. It was no used to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for us, that question is, how do we, get to where we want to be? Because ours is like that. My kids, when we met, our kids was in their teens.
Yeah.
We got 13 and 14 from the beginning. So we never even really had a used to.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was just like the head-on dive right in the pool right off the top. So how do we get back? How do we get where we should be? Not get back, but get to.
So there's a person in the quote that they said date nights are important, and they're right. If you haven't had that ability to actually date, finding that time and making your date night intentional. Listen, I want to make sure I hear this.
Yes.
Spending time is cool, right? But usually when we talk about spending time, there's one person that says, yeah, we spending time, but we spending time with our responsibilities. That's not spending time, right? And, right? And there's the other person that says, hey, we are spending time together. Look how much we work together. We're supporting each other. We go to games. But that's not seeing each other the way y'all need to, right? And so being intentional, and I say, hey, put it on the calendar. Make it be intentional, like a date night, right? So you say, hey, I won't say on the 14th because that's Valentine's Day. We make it like on the 16th. The 16th of March, we plan on doing a date. And you flip-flopping on who's responsible for actually taking that person on the date so each person can feel desired and it's just not one-sided.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That, you know what? That was very powerful. What do you think about that, Mr. Jones?
You're a bad man, Mr. Hill. You're a nice guy.
In other words, I always say to my husband, don't take me for granted. And we don't take things for granted. We have to really listen to each other. I don't mean just because I'm running my mouth and I'm getting on his nerve. I mean that he really needs to listen to what turns me on, what makes me happy, and what makes that contentment in my life. And if he misses some of those clues, because a woman gives the clues just like a man gives the clues. I know his clues And after 42 years, I can tell him pretty much what he want to say sometimes. But it's not right for me to do that because I need to let him speak up when he's ready and when he's able. But he needs to realize that just like I pay attention to what he likes and what he don't like, he needs to pay attention to everything that I like and what I don't like. And then that way we both won't be going down the wrong roads, turning down the wrong street, different way. We'll be going down it the same way together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely feel
say
that. I know, Karma, you wanted to say something. Thank you, Sister Marks.
I'm going to say that there is a God because you're speaking our love language. And this is what me and him have been going through for the last month. And this is what I just been telling him until this weekend. He finally heard what I was saying. I said, I've been doing the same thing for years. You being in one room, I'm in one room. That's not spending time together. This is what I was going to tell him. He felt like that was okay because that's what we've been doing. I don't want to do it anymore. I want us to be closer and grow stronger together. And we are best friends, but I want us to be closer because I know that we can be that, because we never did that before. We've never done it. That's what he says too. We've never done it before. It's new. It's going to be new.
But
and it's a good experience too. It really is.
And the thing is with Mr. and Mrs. Jones is because they collectively took care of so many people ever since they've been together. They've been providers for others. And a lot of times, especially with our kids, we give our kids too much. At some point, they grown. I mean, they're real grown. They got kids and everything. And we're still trying to be their everything. But we're taking away, and I ain't in no relationship, but I'm just telling y'all, I know for a fact, even being single, just giving so much to your kids, it takes away from me what I need. And so I can imagine being married in a relationship that, when we are not responsible for our kids for the rest of their lives, y'all. We love them. We wish them well. We pray for them. We do all of that. We are not responsible for them.
But nowadays you have to, you raise your kids. Nowadays you have to start helping your kids raise their kids and stuff. But I'm starting to say, no, I'm doing it. We doing us now. We have to do right. We have to take time for us. My grandson wanted to come over tonight. He cried when I dropped him back off. You can come over this weekend. No, you can't come today. It hurt in my heart that I had to say no, but
sometimes you do.
Well, sometimes you have to do that. So I'm going to ask the Markses. So I told both of you guys to get a pen and pad. So Mr. Marks, I don't want you to let Miss Marks see your answer. And Smooth, I don't want you to let Shama see your answer. So kind of turn your paper. You know why? You know how like when somebody was trying to cheat off your paper and you these here, like, you should
get another pen. You're getting another pen.
You should. Well, you guys only need one pen because the men are going to be writing down. Look at Smooth. The men are going to be writing down their answers.
See,
okay.
He done knocked my spot.
Oh Lord, I'm in the
Eagles blanket. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm in the doghouse, y'all.
While we're waiting for them, we're going to do a little shout out. We have Juanita Hayes in here, Marisa Chapman. She said, the Joneses are laughing every time I see them. They're a fun couple to be around. Yes, laughter and joking is very good. Sharita Hill has the grandbabies, but she here. Karen said date night is very important and intentional, as Dr. Hill said. Deborah Jones is saying yes, amen. So the people is vibing with y'all. Karen said we should definitely study our partner. Prayer time every night is also an integral and in the intimacy of the relationship. Intimacy is so much more than sexual, which it is. So intimacy does not mean it has to be sexual. Intimacy can be staring at each other in your eyes. Intimacy can be holding hands. It's so many levels of intimacy, even conversation. That's just between the two of two people. Okay, so Smooth, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Smooth, I want you to, you and Mr. Marks, write down the first time you kissed and then rate it.
Just kiss, huh?
What you say?
Just a kiss.
Just a kiss right now, Mr. Jones.
I need some more
Wait a
paper.
minute. Mama talk about call him Mr. Jones, not Smooth.
Thank you, Mama.
He's talking about call him Mr. Jones, not Smooth. Okay, Mr. Jones.
Jones.
Now, what did Jones do? Ran all the way out the room?
He rolled out.
He over there on the breakfast bar, right?
He making sure she don't peek.
Okay, Miss Marks, tell me, this is for Shama and Miss Marks. Tell me the first place you met your significant other. Miss Marks, you go first.
Oh, just tell it?
You can write it down.
Okay.
You can write it down. Okay, gentlemen, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Marks, where was your first kiss and what number did you rate it? Don't say nothing now. Because you got your paper. Miss Marks, you tell us where the first kiss was because his is written down. We're going to have him show us his paper. Mr. Marks didn't take that long.
No, he didn't. He can remember better than I can.
What's that song said? Betty Wright song?
Tonight is the night.
Now I remember.
I'll get to the end of my record and say,
Now I remember.
It had to be at our apartment over here in Cape Park in Bellevue in October, like about the 20s, like a week after his birthday, because his birthday is 25th, so 7 days. About the 29th of October, and in 1983.
At 1983, and how did you rate it between 1 to 10?
Oh shoot, it was pretty daggone good. I give it a compared to how he done grown, I'll give it an 8.
An 8. Okay, Mr. Mark, show us your answer. Okay, what does that say?
It says October 22nd, 1982, and an 8.
Ooh!
Wow.
Wow!
I did not kiss him that night on his birthday. Maybe I did give him a little smooch, but I knew it was within his birthday time.
Oh, wow! Wow!
You gave me an 8 too.
Yep.
Oh, so you trying to say I was not that good
No,
that night?
I'm just saying because when you meet somebody for the first time, you don't just go all out on that first kiss and just try to drop tongue down their throat.
You don't bite the lip on it. You don't bite that bottom lip on the first time.
You know, it's nice, passionate, I like you kind of kiss, you know. You don't want to be too aggressive. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. And at the same time, you don't want to walk away just shaking the hand, but you can give somebody a light little smooch. And I know people say, oh, well, that was 40 something years ago. I said, yeah, we was a little bit more promiscuous back then, but that didn't mean you had to go for it.
Right. All right, we're going to the Joneses. Shama, Mrs. Jones, where was your first kiss, and how did you rate it?
I rated it at a 10, and it was in 2003. I want to say November 2003 on his birthday.
Oh, y'all giving up birthday presents. Look,
Right.
birthday gifts.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Jones, what do you say? What's your answer?
She didn't say the place.
I know you didn't say the place. Where was it at?
I don't remember the place.
It's kind of shaky there.
I like that.
I said, me and Carmen met in Workley Center in the joint in Workley Center in Omaha.
Okay.
So when we met, like she said, on my birthday was my first kiss.
What did you rate it?
I rated it 10,
All right.
knee buckling, you know.
What's wrong with that? I think Mr. Jones trying to get some brownie points.
We're not allowed to mix and go each other's area. But after our first kiss, the next day I got up and I start talking about things I like, when we get married. So I think that kind of threw her off a little bit. I'm glad it happened, but I don't think.
Well, you caught her attention. That's what I do know. But that's like knees buckled and all.
Knees buckled and all.
Dr. Hill,
What's up?
love language is something that has been introduced to African Americans here recently within the past maybe 7-8 years, where people actually, and a lot of times, men are not familiar with love languages.
Yeah.
Tell us how important a love language is in a relationship.
It's important, but I'll be honest with you. It's not important as some of the other work that they've done. So, and forgive me, I forgot the authors that did the love language, but these brothers have done a lot of work in a lot of different areas. And while love language is important because you want to make sure you want to hear how it's loved, but let me tell you, if you've been in a long-term relationship, oftentimes loving is easy. It's how you say I'm sorry is the hard part, right? so one of the things, right? I was being real. I'm being real. Yeah. So one of the things that they do is they have one called the apology language. It's on the same website, and I give that to my clients all the time because it's not how they love is the problem. They together, so the loving is okay. It's where they've messed up. It's where they somehow they made a mistake and they can't get past the part because she says I need corrected change, and he says I said I'm sorry, and they both apologize, but they don't see it because they don't hear each other.
Go ahead.
Dr. Hill. I have never, you know what? Apology language.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
That was deep. That was real as hell.
Yeah.
Dr. Hill.
We gotta
that was real as hell. Damn, my hair. Look, y'all. I don't know if y'all see these bumps. I got chills when you said. I was like, damn.
Dr. Hill, I'm telling you, there is a God. I've been speaking this to this man. I'm telling you. I've been saying the same thing you're telling him. Saying to us. I've been saying that, haven't I, honey? Mm-hmm. I've been saying it. He said, well, I said I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It ain't coming from the heart purely. Right. And you want to have that, and like he's saying, apology. And I'll apologize, and I'll be like, and I'll be getting on his nerve. I'll be like, I gotta go and apologize to him now. And I do. I will make sure to go and say I'm sorry and then sometimes I don't even want to say nothing at all, but I have to realize that I have to outgrow that area and just realize that every moment is not promised. And as we have gotten older in our marriage, we realize that also that every day is a day closer to a day gone. And so we have had so many loved ones go home and different things going on in our lives that we realize that if we don't apologize, if something was to happen, it would really tear us apart. So that, and we just have to get over the ignorance of it and just be loving and kindly. If I love you, I can apologize to you. If I love you, I can accept what happened. If I love you, I can keep moving on and keep doing things to better our relationship. Like I tell him, my big thing, I tell him all the time, Dr. Hill and Sister and Brother Jones, is what goes on in this house. Is what needs to be important first, because what we take out that door when we go out that door is going to be us. But I don't care what my neighbors do, what anybody else do. All I know is I need to respect and love you as the man that I have chose, and you have chose me as your woman. And I don't worry about anything else, is because I have my love and respect for him. And I have my own love and respect for myself that I carry myself.
Come through, Miss Marks. Come through.
Speaking.
It's very important.
Chantel, can I share something for the fellas real fast?
Please.
So one of the things, and I always have to share this for my fellas, is a lot of times when we mess up as fellas, we often want to shower my woman with gifts. And I always say that's probably a bad idea.
Well, I tell you, it always worked for me back in
Now,
Typically, when I'm in session, the girl be like, "What do you mean that's a bad idea?"
3 years ago, boy, they ain't worked since.
Yeah, don't do it. And my fellas might be asking, why wouldn't you do it? It makes sense. If I messed up, why wouldn't I try to purchase my way back? Here's the problem with this. Let's say you buy her a pair of shoes, right? So you take her out on a date. Now she's wearing your nice shoes from the time that you messed up. Every time she sees them shoes is now associated with the time that you messed up. So even though you're doing good and you thinking, yeah, I got a date night, she looking down at them shoes saying, yeah, you better take me on it. So I say I don't do gifts, but what I do is I try to be intentional on how I make my corrections, because that's what's important. It's not how you come back. It's how you come back and you make those correct changes.
And you are so right. Oh my goodness, because I can see myself. I remember, because I love gifts, and that's what they did when they messed up, is gave me gifts. And sometimes, like even like a necklace. I remember I got a diamond necklace, and I was just like this, and I'm touching it, just talking to somebody, and then it stopped. I said, "That mother."
I hear you.
I remember how I got this necklace.
You know what you wearing? You wearing a trigger, and you don't even know it.
That's right. That's right. That's the easy way, because they don't want to deal with it and stuff. And I tell him that too. You have to talk it through and speak on it. You know, it depends on how serious it is, but you have to talk it. That's what builds your foundation to me in your relationship and help you grow as a couple when you talk through it.
So I will say this about the Joneses. Mr. Jones he's very funny. He's gonna have you cracking up, and he is like more quiet and reserved. Mrs. Jones is more sociable out there. You know, Mr. Jones is more reserved, and so and when you have dynamics like that, because I've heard her say plenty of times, like 3 times already. So that's what I tell him. So that's what I said to him. You know, that's what we need to work on. Dr. Hill, how would you approach them if someone is like less likely to talk, and then like she's reminding him of things that what type of approach would you
So that's actually a good question too. So one of the things, and I always say this with my fellas, and I especially with my black fellas, one of the things that we've been conditioned to do is not to have access to our feelings, right? And so a lot of times our women will be, and they have such an upper hand with their emotions. And so they're asking question after question, and we still on the first one talking about, hold on, let me get myself together for it, right? So into the third one, I ain't got the first one down. So what I try to tell my women is, what question do you want answered? Do you want it answered authentically, or do you want a rushed answer? Now, depending on who you are, most people would rather have an authentic answer. But how do you have an authentic answer if you're rushing the answers that you're getting? So what I often tell my fellas is, you have to have an awareness to know that you're not ready to have that conversation yet. But you still have to put a plan in place to have that conversation. Otherwise, what you're doing then is you're putting that situation off on the back burner and not making her feel important.
Right.
So easy way to do this is that if you know, let's say the game is on, right? Oh man, hold on. We need to talk. Golly, they just scored a touchdown.
Get in front of that TV.
Right? Get out. Can I have a conversation with you at 3:30? Most games are over at 3. Why'd I say 3:30? The reason why I said 3:30 is a lot of times you need that de-stress time of what I'm about to say, because you know right after the game you still high on if they won or they lost. Right? And so then you can re-engage the conversation the way you need to, and then both parties can be heard. But you have to be ready to have that conversation and actually be ready to be authentic and vulnerable and be truthful with your partner on the way you really feel, and not sugarcoating because you don't want to.
And as a partner, you have to be willing to accept the person's authentic answer. And if it's something that you need to work on getting to a common place, then then that's something that you're going to have to work on. But if you want somebody to tell the truth, just like, Dr. Hill said, plenty of times we ask questions and we already know what we want the answer to be.
Mhm.
I know what I want the answer to be. And I'm like, and then if you don't, and then some people can feel that what you want them to say. So what I got from that is authenticity, Tim, Dr. Hill, authenticity, and to be truthful. And even like, if you're not ready to have that conversation, say, okay, can we table this for such and such? And just like Dr. Hill said, get yourself together, because you have to be well, just like you go to a job, you get up, you take a bath, you wash your face, you brush your teeth, get your threads on, you iron a shirt, you get prepared for that. So these are similar situations that you have to get prepared for that conversation and to try to come to a common ground and medium, at least, make the effort to it. So just like you prepare yourself to go somewhere, prepare yourself for the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Brother, Dr. Hill, you see some of those questions in there? Go ahead and read them all, because we answer questions in real time. Go ahead and tell them what the people are talking about.
Sonia Allen says, right, we speak fast and they listen slow. That is big facts. It's so accurate. Karen Forever, and never use the word if you're apologizing, because if you use the word if and I hurt you and I'm sorry, to me, that's saying you don't agree. But if you're just apologizing to me to get past the issue, a genuine apology will last, especially when they don't intentionally do it again. That's big facts. Here's the deal with apologies, and a lot of times excuses and reasons often get misconstrued, and so I want to make sure, how do you figure out which one's the difference? And excuses, what happened was, see, it wasn't my fault. Off the rip, what you just did is saying it's no longer my fault, it's everything else, and it's not me. You're offering an excuse to something that happened on your watch. That's an excuse. However, a reason is saying, you know what, I did do that action, but I did so because I thought that it was probably the best thing to do at that time. That is a reason, and that is the difference. So, and that's often internalized differently from the person listening, because if you're giving me excuse, then you're not giving me any reason at all. You're dismissing what I'm saying, versus if you're accepting it and you're giving me a reason, now I have rationale and understanding. Last but not least, yes, when you're mad, you will only wait till you're done talking and then say what you need to say, and calming down and coming back, you're able to listen. Yes, Sonia, there's a difference between speaking to understand and speaking to respond, right? Or listening to respond. And oftentimes when we're in a situation of heightened conversation, we are now listening to respond, right? Instead of listening to understand.
Okay, all right. Mr. and Mrs. Marks, the people said they love you. Mr. Wanda, they love you. They said, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, you is too smooth, and you knew exactly how to answer that question. They said, Mr. and Mrs. They said Mrs. Jones is real. I love her, and her, and you too. And you too, Mr. Jones. Okay, so the people are loving y'all. I'm glad we had this. I had been wanting to do Black Love, and what's the best month to do it? We're in February. So this is has been designated socially the month of love. So I was like, hey, let's get it in. So we all know there's good, bad, and ugly in every situation. So to the Marxes, you guys have been together 42 years, married 35 years. Can you tell us about some of the hurt? Because people think, like I was telling somebody, I said, well, people get divorced after 30 years. I mean, who would think that if you've been linked to somebody for 30 years, that divorce would even be, you would even entertain the thought of divorce. That's right. Some people get divorced at 30 years. People think that marriage is peaches and cream, and it's just a fairy tale. You have to put in work to anything that you want to succeed, to prosper, to grow. And that's how you have to look at your relationship. But I know that we have hurdles in relationship. Mr. and Mrs. Marks, if you guys would like to share on some of the things that you had to overcome, some of the hurdles you had to jump, and how you end up jumping those hurdles.
Go ahead.
Well, some of the hurdles we had to overcome was right off the bat, not having full support of the family when we first met. My mom had her issues. Her mother had her issues. And we had to not let that affect on how we felt about each other. At that point in time, we knew that we're going to have to be in each other's corner. And what we've always tried to do, and I know it doesn't always come out right, is to be supportive of one another, because she has her ideas and her goals. I got my ideas and my goals. But the one thing we tried never to do was change the other person. We didn't want them to be what we wanted them to be. We had to understand she's going to be the way she is. I'm going to be the way I am. And we have to accept that and understand what we can do to keep this marriage together. And long as we kept thinking about that point, it kept working. Yeah, there's probably been times when we both was ready to throw in the towel, but we had to sit back and look at the frustrations of what we were going through that caused us to get to that point, and most of it, which everybody understands, number one, most time it's finances, other time it's disagreement on what we should do with the kids, as far as their leadership, our leadership towards them. But basically, we just always sometimes just get away from each other for a few minutes. In other words, like Sister Jones said a minute ago, he's in her room, she's in that room, we'll do that to give us a chance to get our train of thoughts together as to what we want to do. And then we come back together and we discuss it, But for many, many years, like I said, it's just been just the two of us. Now, we've done some raising of the children. We had to take care of mothers. We had to take care of fathers. We did a lot of senior citizen stuff for us taking care of them. And like the Joneses were saying earlier, we had to put our relationship on the back burner too, because we had to take care of other folks.
We came with a blended family, first of all.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. First of all, our first relationship started with me having 2 kids and him having 2 children from his first wife and previous marriage. And when we met together and we blended a family together of 3 boys and 1 daughter. So that was the biggest thing that I think that was our strength builder of our relationship, because of the fact that it made us realize that we just didn't have each other that we had to make for sure. We had the burdens of babies to feed. And I'm talking about a 4-month baby that I had when Mr. Marks met him, and a 2-year-old in a few months when Mr. Marks met my oldest.
And a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And a 4-year-old. So by that, we had to learn quick that either we're going to stick together or he would go back to his relationship. And I knew I wasn't going back to my relationship, but we had to swallow a whole lot of everything, because family did not allow and respect us joining our families like that, because everybody thinks that you have a baby by this person and you got to be with that person for years, no more than what you're saying of 30 years of actually being with somebody a long time marriage. Because when we went for our marriage classes, the pastor asked us, do we think that if a person, a marriage broke up once the kids finished high school or college, was that marriage already doomed, or was it already did that just happen, or had it been happening for years? And so when we had that conversation with the pastor, I told him I just knew really that it was a long, drawn out frustration that went on for years. It just didn't just blow up at the end like that. It was something that everybody's been swallowing their pride, holding on to anger, holding on to bitterness. Like my husband say, financial will knock all of it down, because if you don't have the finances to take care of and make things comfortable in your life, it seems like it's in an uproar. So I'm not going to hold any more of that, but that's what caused it. But one blessing out of it is none of our kids come home. left in 2000.
Oh.
I begged them to come home and visit us. They don't even want to visit us, and we don't care either. Okay.
That's what they do now.
We got, that's right, Sister Jones.
What you say, Sister Jones?
I said I don't feel so bad. It was getting to me at first when they didn't do it, especially our 20-year-old. She got out. She's in school and stuff, and so she's in her first relationship, so she's in love. So of course that's gonna override us anyway. But I'm proud of myself for when she did go. We dropped her off at school that I let go so easy because I thought that I would be harassing her and just worried about her. But God just said, give her to me. And that's what I did. I gave him to her.
That's right.
Okay. So I'm going to the Joneses. And I want to just say this, kids, especially in a blended family, and especially when your disciplinary actions are this far apart, that is a tremendous burden on any relationship, whether you're just dating, living together, married. Those kids can put a strain on any relationship. And the thing is, especially when they grown, we can't let them do that. You know, they got their own shit going on. We can't let them infiltrate, you know, in our lives and just like boom, boom, we arguing about some grown ass people that damn near got grown ass kids.
That's right.
We're arguing about them. That just don't even make sense. And you know, we're parents, so we're going to gravitate towards our kids and things like that and want to help them. But as good parents, sometimes we just gotta let them go. We gotta let them do them, and we can't do everything.
That's what we're doing.
Tough love.
Stress you out. So this is for the Joneses. So what are some of the hurdles? Because you guys also had a blended family where you guys took in a bunch of kids. So besides that, what was some of the biggest hurdles in your marriage? Some things that you had to overcome.
Go ahead.
We had to overcome. Like I was saying, our kids was a little bit older, so we was used to how we was doing our kids. You know, I hate to go back to kids, but I believe that was a big thing in our relationship. You know, we had to. You know, I've been doing my kids for 14, 15, and wife been doing hers for 14, 15 years. She had her way, and I had mine. Big hurdle was getting on the same page with that.
Right.
Which we really never got there like 100%. I want to say about 80, you know, about 80% maybe we got there. But for the most part, we really, really never got there on the same page. One thing we did get on the same page was we couldn't wait for them to leave so we could do us. That's how it was handed to us. You know, we walked right into that with these older kids. And now, you know, what I loved about Karma Kids is whatever I said went, and it still does. You know, whatever I said went, I didn't have to say it 2, 3, 4 times. I said it once. Hey, this is what it is. I'm not sure what y'all used to, but this is how it's going to be right now.
Right.
And we took that in, and they was cool with that. The hurdle about that part was it was different. You know, mine was different. Hers was different. I was different. Nobody thought me and her was making it because we are totally two different people. Totally two different people we are. I'm heads and she's the tails. It's pretty much nothing that we like.
Nothing.
You know, nothing at all. So nobody thought we would get as far as we are right now. Yeah. But I think that the hurdles with the kids is pretty much what made us where we're at right now, you know. But this day we've been looking for. We've been looking forward to our youngest kid moving. But at that time, Mr. Hill, for one, I've never been a communicator. So now, after the kids leave, where I can't wait, it done got worse.
Yeah.
Now my reference, after we done did all that, my wife is ready to communicate.
Yeah.
Now I'm lost. I'm like, well, bring the kids back. Let's
right.
Because that's when he communicated, like you did with the boys.
Yeah, I had somebody I could blame something on.
He blamed the boys. Now he ain't got nobody who dropped them crumbs, who
That's big fact.
smoked the milk, and who
That's
done
big
drank
fact.
all of I was like, okay.
I mean, I get to the point where I just say, I don't know how to do that. I've never had to do that in a relationship. When I get tired, I always left. You
So
know,
yeah, that's the difference about marriage. You just can't.
I gotta give her an answer on, what the hell's going on with me, and I just don't know how yet.
He thinks something.
Hello?
Hey, Dr. Hill.
Hey,
Hi. He
Hi,
thinks
Dr. Hill.
something wrong with me. But I want to say is, me and Smooth is two different people as far as parenting. I'm the more stricter one. He's the more funner parent, so they liked him more. They liked him better than me. So of course they loved him because he's
My son, same way. My son would tell him, "Don't call my mama." Because
Right.
we don't want that crazy husband to come up in this room. Oh, my daddy. And he go up there, hey, Buzzard, what you done did? I like Buzzard. Whoop him. Buzzard. He's carrying our name. He lives under our roof. And if he don't like what we tell him, then we're going to show him who the boss is. And we are the boss. That's why you don't come around today.
And that's another thing too, where he would discipline the kids because I work nights most of the time, and he would discipline them and wouldn't tell me what happened and communicate that. So this has always been a communication thing, and share with me. And he never disciplined them so that we can stand together. That's a lot of things. That's a thing that we had one of the hurdles that we had to go over, because he never disciplined in front of me or us standing together as a united front. And that's what I kept telling him, that we had to be a united front. With our children, you have to stand together, or they'll try to split you apart. And
They will. Oh, they will.
They tried that a lot.
Yes,
They will.
Yes,
And the thing is, even in any aspect of anything, partnership, meetings, executive boards, when you get ready to go to somebody, whatever differences we have, we hash out behind the doors. But when we go in front of the people that we got to talk to and present to, whether I think your idea is the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life. Oh, yes, Mr. Jones, that is a great idea, but we've already hashed this out. And you already said, well, I don't think we should do this. You said, well, then we came to a common medium and said, okay, let's do this then. So for them to see you saying, just agreeing on the same thing and not like, well, I think that was too harsh, hash that shit out behind the scenes.
Right.
Hash that out behind the scenes. But when you get in front of them.
That's that point. But that was a big hurdle that we had to really it was.
So Sharita, you've been in here, you've been listening. What advice do you have for these two lovely couples?
What you got?
Well, he's been really laying it down when we talk in our couples session. But blended families are really a tough one for everybody. And one of the biggest things that we do see is having everybody be on the same page. And it takes practice for that. It has to be intentional and takes practice for that. It doesn't happen overnight, because both people come in wanting to be the mama bear, papa bear over their kids. And so you have to work it out. You got to realize that, okay, they're our kids, but they are our kids at this point because we're married. Right. And now we have to come together to make sure that these kids are raised well. Right. A lot of times, we really are forming the humans that we're raising. Like, a lot of times we think that we're raising them, but really we're forming humans. So
yes, indeed,
it's really important that we do that well and that we work together on that.
That's what we did. We did a lot of preaching and a lot of teaching.
Yes, we did.
And we stuck on the same subjects with one another. So they never seen us not agree on discipline. They just know that whatever mama said went, whatever dad said went, and they didn't take it to the other one trying to get over. I think what is also about the blended family deal is that my first wife and her mother used to try to keep my kids away from us because of her. And that also caused a strain.
We had a lot of strains.
But I knew for a fact that she was God's angel's gift to me.
Come on.
I was in a bad place when we first met together because I was missing my children, wanted my children, couldn't touch them, couldn't get them, but I'm paying for them. So when I met Tawanda, she's got these beautiful little boys. I said, they need a leader. They need a teacher, and they're going to use some preaching. And that's what we did. So basically, we can be thankful to God that we don't have needy children.
That's right.
They don't call us for nothing. They don't need nothing, and they ain't wanting for nothing. They all professionals in their own careers. But that took her and I to be on the same page as far as what discipline's going to be.
And some of the things we did that they didn't like, they was like, we ain't going around mom and dad. We embarrass them, okay? We be baking out of here and there. Baby, give me a kiss. They be like, yup. And you know, you clear a room by doing something. When they used to come around, I'd be like, go over there and get that broom and sweep that. Go over there and do this and do that. Go wash some dishes. Every time I seen them, I had something for them to do. And then eventually, bing,
they stopped coming.
They don't want to come over there no more.
That's why they didn't want to come over there. But that is super awesome. And Mr. and Mrs. Marks is still like that. I mean, you can just see them. This is so genuine. They're so genuine. They were Mr. and Mrs. Claus this year at our children's Christmas party.
Oh.
It was just so beautiful. It was just so cute. They were just so cute together. And they get out there and dance. They don't give a damn. They'll dance on right here. We had a birthday party. Ain't no dance floor. They make it a dance floor. So, you know, we love that about them. We love that about them. So I'm going to ask the couples this, and then I want to get the Hills perspective on their response. And I want everybody to be honest, because this is an honest session. And these professionals came in as a courtesy to me at the last minute. So how do you guys overcome disagreements? I'm going to Karma and Mr. Jones. How do you guys overcome disagreements? And you know, the old age saying that we've been hearing since the Beavers, you never go to bed angry. That's easier said than done. So when you guys have a disagreement, and now the Hills are here to assist us. Remember, we don't need to try to act like something is peaches and cream.
Well, I need this answer.
Okay, well, go ahead, Mr. Jones.
I need this answer. Nothing. That's my problem. I don't know how to overcome a disagreement. I ignore it, and I don't do nothing. My wife on my neck for I don't know how many years. Please, you know, you got to come and talk to me about, I don't know how to do that. I don't know. I do absolutely nothing. When I'm finished mad, it's about 24 hours, man, I'm back in my playing around.
Well, this last time you was along. He was in the other room a week ago we in a 4-bedroom
2
home.
weeks.
2 weeks.
You was mad. Look, you was mad. You was mad.
Yep. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I'm mad because I don't know how to respond to what she wants from me.
And I usually kiss. No, you really be mad because you don't kiss, bye, or nothing.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Wait a minute, Mr. Hill. Let me plug this first.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I want you to come in right after me. Just for the record, Mr. and Mrs. Hill have a whole business that they work with on people. They do remote sessions. They're in Texas, but they do remote sessions. So we gonna drop that information in the chat group because I mean they real and y'all see that they coming with solutions.
I already seen it's a guy when he starts.
All right, go ahead, Dr. Hill. I just had to plug y'all and what y'all went to school to and y'all passion, what y'all passionate.
Yeah. I'm going to drop you an opportunity that we're going to bring to Omaha shortly, but I want to answer your question first. One of the things let me ask you a clarifying question. For you, is it really mad or is it disappointment?
I want to say
In itself?
I just asked disappointment or anger.
What if you call it mad? I call it kind of like confused, maybe, or maybe I guess mostly. I wouldn't really call it mad.
Okay.
You know, when people are just frustrated, when people shooting at you about something. You keep shooting at me about the same math problem, and I ain't figured it out in in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now you're frustrated. Man,
Right.
frustrated. I still can't get this right. So if I had to choose a word, I'd probably have to say frustrated.
Frustrated. Now let me ask you: when you are frustrated and that's your partner, how do you ask for help?
I never do.
So I'm trying to hear what you're saying to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying when I get frustrated and I don't ask for help, what place does that put you in?
Actually, we've been doing it so long for a comfortable situation.
Mm-hmm.
As long as one thing about wifey, she may let it go for about 2 or 3 days, but it's coming back.
Yeah. Now, but you was in the room for 2 weeks though, brother. What happened with that?
It always comes back. It's gonna keep on coming. The stuff that she wants, I understand. I feel her. Dr. Hill, I just don't know how. That's what I've been explaining to her. I don't know how. So she got some TikToks and said, "Shot those to me from TikToks." It's like, some good suggestions right here.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing over there. Their advice may not be. I ain't even looked at it.
Right.
Got a couple of them, but what they got going on over there may not be the same thing we have going over here. So their advice is not going to really be good for me. Really, to be honest with you.
Right.
He has a problem with apologizing too. He doesn't.
Well, let's fix this first.
Okay.
Gotcha.
First, I want to commend Mr. Jones for his honesty.
Me too.
I want to commend him for his honesty, and he's just being raw and being truthful. And commend his wife too for sitting there listening to it.
Yes.
Because that was some real shit you just said. That was real as hell. I mean,
how's the guy?
Y'all see these bubs? You see these bubs? You got me feeling when you said that because you was real as hell when you said that.
But Mr. Jones, I want you to know that you're not alone in feeling frustrated and not knowing how to express your feelings. You are not alone. You just need some tools and some practice. That's all. And that's the whole part of going to marriage counseling or therapy is so you can get those tools and those practices to learn how to do that. But you're not alone. We see plenty of couples and men, they just don't know how to communicate their feelings.
As Black men, we've been conditioned not to express ourselves.
Exactly.
Right? Why are you acting like a little bee? Quit crying, I'll give you something to cry about. All those are reinforcement statements to not express ourselves.
Shut up, dog.
Right?
I say that to him. I do. Sometimes I thought to myself, maybe if I say something that'll make him snap him right back up in the head and make it go back right. It don't even hit him. It bounce off of him. But if it was a football game, a remote, a Coke 45 beer,
we can talk about that, huh? And Mr. Hill, the TikToks was the tools that I was sending him to give him an idea to do it with me.
Is he in the TikTok?
Listen, I don't really watch TikTok a lot. She's my TikTok watcher. I'm leery of TikTok only because when you get on TikTok, anybody can claim that they're a relationship expert and have no relationship.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Let me clarify what I'm sending. I'm sending him brothers that been through some stuff with women, and they're being real about their feelings and how they treated women. That's all it is. It's just giving other men advice.
We don't know.
That's all it is. That's what they have to look at the TikToks to understand that.
So
we don't know that.
Here's this is me as an educator. So a lot of times that's great. So what we're doing is identifying the problem. But if I identify the problem but I have no solution, then that doesn't really give me any true help, right? So if I was to work with Mr. Jones, my first thing is why are we doing this, right? Why are we pulling away? How do we re-engage? How do we be authentic just the way you were? You did a great job of showing your authenticity. Now we have to do is expound on it and say, hey, how can I build from here?
Do you agree that takes time?
I'm proud of you.
It absolutely takes time.
Do you agree that takes a lot of time?
It's going. Listen, as much as the time that it takes you to be vulnerable, it's also going to take her a lot of grace to have that place to set the table for you to be vulnerable.
Right.
And
So-
can I interject one other thing that I've noticed, because my husband has very similar issues, Mr. Jones. But what I've noticed is a lot of it comes from childhood. I think because of the fact that, Mama might have told him something about eating his food, or when it came on Saturdays, you got to clean the house, and he rebelled against it. So when wifey says, hey, come on, it's our time to go and do this together, or whatever, clean the house or do something, he rebels against it. So I think that some of it isn't that in my case, is not that he is trying to disrespect what I say to him. I just think that his brain is in his state of being of his mind might be from his childhood, or something that harmed him, or he was dissatisfied with that he's carrying that burden. So when I do it, all I'm doing is scratching at that board again, making more noise of the same issues, and he rebels against it. So I get that feeling a lot that you really don't want to hear what I say. And then so at times I felt like, oh, you're a chauvinist. No, you don't listen to a woman, So you get all kinds of stages in there that is confusing to the woman, as well as the man can be confused. So there's
It's making us feel.
So the thing that,
and I just want to say this too, and all the other relationships, because he said this too. Well, I didn't have to do this with that person. Well, you ain't with them. You with me. I'm different.
Right.
You married me. You didn't marry them. So, you married me for a reason, and I just feel like it's nothing to hurt us, honey. It's just to bring us closer together.
Yes, marriage is always evolving and changing. Who you were when you were 20 years ago is not who you are now. So it's always going to be evolving and changing. And we're always going to be learning new things about each other. What we liked 10 years ago when we met might not be what we like.
I feel like that.
We are a product of our environment. We come to each other being raised in different environments. You're going to bring your things, and they always talk about you can't bring your baggage, your luggage to the relationship. There's always a little something, and you don't know until you get to that situation. That's right. And then when you get the situation, you're like, oh, I thought I was healed over that. But no, because if you haven't been in that situation to see it. So it's always going to be something that you have to learn in your relationship, that you have to figure out with your partner. I always tell our clients, I said, you really don't know until somebody passes away, you have a baby. All of those are life-changing adjustments. You lose your job, you get laid off, all those things bring out different things. And so we just have to keep adjusting. And so Mr. Jones is just an adjustment that you just got to get help with, and try to learn from it. But it can be done.
Yeah.
So, and the thing that I want to definitely stress for the couples on here and the audience members, we all know in our community, the African-American community, seeking help and therapy outside of the home has always been considered a taboo. That is no longer in existence, especially we know with our kids, because they all want to see therapists.
They all want
every last one of them. I'm just so depressed. You don't got a bill, you don't pay for food, you got a roof. Okay, but anyway, I digress. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with seeking help.
Right.
I filed a lawsuit against my employer years ago, and I knew if I seen a therapist that my payoff would be bigger. I knew that because I researched it. So I said, well, I didn't take none of the meds they gave me. So I went in there, blah, 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 blah. But then about the second or third visit, shit, I was all comfortable, y'all. Anyway, by the way, I'm all comfortable. And I was like, it really makes a difference to be able to communicate with somebody that don't have a bone in the game. You know,
Right.
they don't have, I mean, they're just here to listen, and they are educated and have the experience to give
Yep.
you tools to get beyond some things. So I don't want anybody, especially this audience and the couples on this panel, because we was like, oh yeah, Black people don't need psychiatrists. They do. They need therapists, they need psychiatrists. So I don't want anybody to think that's a taboo.
We do need
Just like we need a heart doctor.
Listen,
Yes.
Exactly.
We need
A mind doctor. Yeah, exactly.
90% of my clientele is Black, and I told you before we are on a 2-month waiting list. Black therapy is real out here. So
couples are getting therapy. Black men are getting therapy.
Yeah.
Single moms are getting therapy for their young boys. I mean, he is inundated with women with saying, "Hey,
Right. Mhm.
Men coming in saying, I need some help, man.
Yeah.
I'm not able to communicate with my wife. I need some help." And then we end up doing couples therapy with them. Couples are getting therapy. So it is a change happening. And we as a community are seeking help.
And listen, it's been, and let me, for the people that are watching online that are even thinking about getting therapy, one of the concerns that I hear is I don't want everybody in my business, or I don't want to have to do this by myself, right? One of the things that I often tell them is this, especially for my fellas. We know that joint practices for football work, right? Because we've seen it. But however, there are times when we have to work on a position, right? I got to work with the quarterback. Say, hey, brother, I need you to do some individual drills just with you. So if we're doing therapy, and I say, hey, I need to just talk with you to see what's going on with you, is not to point out there's something wrong with you, is to coach you to a higher level so the whole team can succeed. And I just make sure that is expected and not assumed.
So so I take that as sometime that you will do individual coaching with couples, and then you will bring them together, correct?
Man, that's the thing that we do.
It's a lot of times it's necessary because, like I said, we as individuals come to the relationship with our own things that happened while we were raised in our environment that we need to sort through first,
Yep.
Right?
Before we can even have the capacity to do what we need to do with our partner.
Yeah.
And see, in our case, I came from a single mother. Didn't know welfare, born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I'm talking about I had the best life. My mom was a beautician, and she worked in the shop for a long time. And then she wound up leaving the shop because the dues and, paying their rent dues and all that got to be. So she used to go to people's houses. So I came from a very strong background where my mother lost her mom at the age of 13. So she always been a mother to her siblings. Then I come in and she has 2 girls because my dad was a deadbeat. He was not there, but he had intelligence, but he didn't bring it to his daughters. So it made me as a young girl always venture out looking for, first of all, that father figure. Then I was looking for that love figure, because you think to yourself, hey, I'm getting a teenager. I'm smelling myself. I'm thinking I'm looking kind of cute, and I'm going to get me the man of my dreams, and he's going to be the only one that I be with for the rest of my life. And it did not go that way.
Yeah.
And so when you meet somebody that's treating you good, like this man have treated me for 42 years, then I'll be abusive to him at sometimes, because I think that I'm still being neglected because I still am dealing with my past
stuff.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Not just married, anybody who's starting a relationship. Learn yourself first and let somebody know who you really are, and don't bring no phoniness to the table.
That's right.
You're real.
Right.
Today.
Preach, Sister Mark. Okay, we're going to go to some of these questions. People are making comments. Y'all know we answer comments and questions in real time. Marisa Chapman is viewing from Texas. She said, no wonder y'all been together so long and still together. Y'all are wonderful together. Mr. and Mrs. Marks, and to the Joneses. Sanji said, the older you get, the older you grow inside marriage, the challenge changed drastically. You go from surviving, communication, sex drives, I don't know
Everything.
what is sex drive?
That's sex.
Sex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Blended families, finances, etc. It is as if you're learning all over again.
Yes.
Kids gone, you set in your
Yes.
ways, you caring for older parents, you caring for older
Yes.
people. So it is a drastic change. That is like a revolving door. Karen said, that's right, so true. Folks are on the outside looking in when they see long-term years. And they don't understand how a 35-year marriage can end. Like Mrs. Marks said, it's something that has festered for many years. It doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
Let's see who else. We got we got a lot of people here tonight. Boy, they got the comments rolling. Conflict can create runners. By Sanji, conflict can create runners, shutdowners, and grudgers because they may think it will get worse. That's powerful. They said they hear you. They love the Marks. I love what you're doing, Chantella. Thank you. Harlow, I think he is in Atlanta. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, y'all made the song. Y'all got a thing going on. Somebody said I have childhood trauma that I've been that's been all of my life. I'm 54 years old, and I'm just now realizing how much is still impacting my life. And that's where the heels come in at. That's where the heels come in at, because sometimes we don't have the tools to dig deeper. And just like Dr. Hill said, men are expected not to be emotional, not to cry, expected to be just, armor, steel. But if they don't have the tools, then they may never learn how to. So, Dr. Hill, I'm giving you the floor. Sharita, I know you were saying something. I forgot what to say. I was going to say, I understand what Mrs. Marks is saying, because when we came into the relationship, I come from a grandmother who raised girls who said, you don't need a man, you don't depend on a man. So then, of course, her girls, and then she was divorced several times. And then her girls had that same attitude. So my mom raised me the same way. So getting into a relation. So I was married before. We both were married before. My past relationship, I was the boss. I ran everything. And my girls, I raised my girls to see that. And so then when I get with Dr. Hill, and I'm still trying to be that same person, and he's like, whoa, wait a minute.
That's right.
And that's right. It took me a while to adjust to that, because I thought that's how I was raised. And then even my girls, they came to me and said, well, Mom, I don't like how you are with him. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because you're letting him say stuff. And I'm like, I wasn't the way I was in the first relationship.
It was not the way.
Right. That was not a healthy relationship. And so now I'm going to show you guys a healthy relationship. Now it's been 13, 14 years, and now they're like, oh yeah, we love it. But at first it was tough, because they were like, no, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? What's going on with you? But it wasn't healthy at first. And it took a while. I struggled for a long time, not trying to be bossy and controlling.
Be submissive.
She's still working. Not still working.
Sometimes. I'm a natural leader. I just with what it is. But I respect him. And so since I respect him, because in my past relationship, because I was controlling, I lost respect for it. But then I get here and I'm like, well, wait a minute, you don't be telling me what to do, but I respect him. And so it's worked out. I mean, but it's been work. I mean, relationships are work. It's something that I was raised with. This was in my DNA, and I have to change it once I seen that it wasn't the right way to be.
Right.
And the one thing I want to make sure that, especially people at home, we are models for what relationships look like. So if you out here cussing and fighting and hollering, your kids are witnessing that, and they're internalizing, saying that's what a good relationship looks like, right? And so when they get older, they're going to mimic that same behavior, or they're going to do the total opposite because they don't see that it works. But how they interpret it is really going to be the gamble.
Mhm.
But the only thing that you can control is what you model for your kids on what marriage or relationships actually are and what they appear to be.
Right. Not what you say is what they see.
They see.
Right,
Yes.
right.
What they
They
see.
are paying attention.
Exactly.
They are paying attention. You know,
They do at a young age. At a young age.
But
So
I-
I'm gonna ask the couples one more question, and then I'm gonna let the Hills talk about what they may be blessing us with in Omaha, Nebraska. So I know it's in the works, so they're gonna tell us a little bit about that. The question will be the same, and it is for the both parties in the couple to answer. What is the favorite thing you like to do as a couple? The Joneses.
Really?
I just like just spending time with my husband. I like
Oh.
I like to spend time. That's my favorite thing, just being with him and us getting to know each other. That's my favorite thing that's going on right now.
Yeah, because with all the kids out, it's like you guys are getting to know each other. And just like Sanji said, and also Miss Hill said, it's evolving, consistently evolving, especially with the dynamics of all the kids being gone like that. Mr. Jones, what is your favorite thing to do with your wife?
Pretty much the same. Since the kids been gone, pretty much spending my time while making her laugh, you know. The pee-pee game is the best thing in my life.
I ain't mad at you, Mr. Jones. I ain't mad at you, Mr. Jones. Come on, Mr. Jones.
Pee-pee
We
game.
play the pee-pee game. She sleeps against the wall. She has to climb over me to go to the bathroom. She's got that deep.
Oh.
Hold on to her. Go really, really bad.
You gotta go play.
It never ends.
And a lot of
It
times,
never ends.
we would play this game for about 10 years. Sometimes she make it. Sometimes
Well,
Gotta run.
she said that's not her favorite thing in the world, but I'm telling you, this woman be cracking up so hard. She be laughing so hard. She
She ready something. Me too.
That's funny.
Well, you got me peeing on myself. I'm part of the pee-pee game now.
get up and I run to the bathroom, act like I gotta go real bad and close the door and lock it or something.
The cards and I crushed my pelvis. He did that to me then. That's
That wasn't intentional. That wasn't intentional.
She don't like that game, but she laughs. She laughs harder than me.
it's funny. It's funny. It is.
We do laugh the same.
I would
All
say,
right, to the
Pretty
Marxists.
That's
Thank
pretty
you
much
guys
it.
for that information. To the Marxists, what is your favorite thing to do as a couple? Miss Marks, I'm gonna go to you first.
Me, I really enjoy a good meal and a good movie while I'm laying in bed. That's what we watch movies all the time, beginning to end. And then sometime we gotta hit the pause button because somebody gotta go pee pee.
We cover all the business tonight.
Mr. Marks, what about you?
well, the fun thing, I think one of the most things I love doing is just picking on her. I just love teasing her and stuff, because I get so much fun and pleasure out of making her laugh. But I can tell you one thing I don't like doing with her is playing hide and seek. Hide.
She can hide.
She can hide. But this girl's so good at it, I stopped looking for her.
I'm like, where is he at?
He done took a nap. Look, he done took a nap.
He's in bed, covers over his head and everything.
I went all over that house looking for that woman that time. I said, I ain't never playing this daggone.
I think y'all was more like, "Hi, go get some kids."
Yeah.
I was like, "Hi, go get some."
Well, I ran out of energy, so that part wasn't happening. But anyway, I do like that what she says too, is that I had to learn how to watch. I had to change my diet on movies because I always an action adventure kind of thing, But over the past 3 to 5 years and stuff, I'm starting to get more into the melodrama, the chick flicks, and then she's over there teasing me because I'm freaking crying.
He crying all the time. I be like, "Are you snorting over there? What's going on?" He's like, "Come on,
But to
Hallmark, all of them."
yeah, I'm starting to like some Lifetime Movie Network.
Yeah, I got to show Bill that too. I do too.
Get together with her, have a good meal, crawl up in the bed, watch a good movie, just love it.
The crybaby movies. So I have to learn how to do that too.
So I'm going to remind you guys, if anybody wants to buy a ticket, this is your ticket. Your wife bought you another ticket tonight, Mr. Jones. We are doing the 2020 raffle drawing. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle that in there, and I'm going to let the Heels Chama. Here go the other tickets you turned in today. 4 tickets, 5 tickets total. To the Heels. We're going to defer to the Heels to let us know what they got going on. Like I said, I found them online. Sharita, I could not find your number in my phone.
No.
I couldn't find it. I called you, then I finally found it. I called you several times, and then I said, because I always like to go through the wife first before I reach out to the husband as a matter of respect.
My
And,
number changed since
I said, shit. I said, oh, hell no. She ain't responded to me. I was like, Dr. Hill. So, and thank you for responding to me in an expeditious manner, Mr. Hill. So to the Hills, we're deferring to the doctors here. Let us know what's going on. Like I said, they are booked and busy. So thank you, Jesus. You guys, it was so important for you to be here.
we enjoyed it. I was late.
I can't even tell you how important it was. And I can tell just by the way the couples responded to you and by the engagement on the platform. So let the people know what you guys have going on.
So this February 15th, we are launching We're Doper Together. It's a hip hop and R&B relationship tour. So we're doing food, we're doing DJ, we're doing prizes. So imagine what it is. It's bringing entertainment, our music, our culture to counseling, and we're also giving out prizes. We're learning about intimacy. It's really the collection of just how do we enjoy ourselves as a couple, date, and still learn from each other.
So we're going to do it through music that brought you together, music
Universal.
that together. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're hosting that this Saturday, but because Omaha is our home,
Man, yeah, we represent.
we are definitely bringing it to Omaha.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
This
good.
Saturday,
look out for it. It is coming to
No,
Omaha.
it's in Texas this Saturday, but they're going to keep us posted on when it's coming to Omaha.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys need some help trying to get a facility and stuff like that, let me know.
We definitely
Y'all
will.
know I done promotions and concerts and all kind of stuff. So I got
Yes.
some connects. So let me know anything I can help y'all with. If y'all
We
need a
definitely
couple
will.
artists to perform live, a DJ, let me know. I got the
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, because we'll have a
That's
live
beautiful.
DJ. We have a chef cooking the food up
Yeah.
for him. And
It's a red carpet
it's a
event.
red carpet
It's a red
event.
carpet event.
But it's going to be
I ain't never been to one, but I'm ready to go to one.
but it is therapy and fun at the same
Yeah.
time. And so we plan on taking it all over.
Yep. So you get a workbook, and so you learn, and you really actually doing that work,
You working,
right?
But we're partying at the same
That's
time.
what-
Exactly.
Are we able to get on y'all schedule though?
Yes,
We'll-
yes.
we'll
We'll give you the information.
We'll definitely
Yes.
talk. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna all share information. Anybody who needs to get in touch with the Hills, I have their information, their professional lines and stuff like that. So yeah, and if one of y'all can drop something, somebody. Oh, Reese is in Texas. She said, "Where y'all at in Texas this weekend?"
it's actually gonna be downtown Dallas at the Mata Hari.
The Matahari House.
Matahari House.
Yes, you got the link.
I don't know.
Oh,
We'll put the we're gonna
Yeah,
go-
y'all can always put the link in afterwards, and then I can
Okay.
also put it in the title, in the actually the description, so that people can just as soon as they see the video, they can click on the link, that information.
Okay.
So yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. So again, if y'all need some help, some assistance with like doing some groundwork while y'all in Texas, I'll be glad to assist you guys because you guys did me a solid. And I'm gonna get y'all back in here on another subject with some couples. So
all
so
right.
we gonna help each other.
I'm gonna say this. Can I say this?
We love you, Shartella. So let's
We
Yeah.
love y'all too. I
I
love
would
y'all.
say thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to say thank you, Chantella, for putting this together.
Yes.
And I
Yes,
want to say
very
thank you
much.
to my husband. I'm proud that you did this, baby.
Yes.
So,
Hey.
for that.
Hey, Mr. Jones, me and you got to get together, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That's Philadelphia,
We
folks.
got to do lunch. We got to go to lunch, Miss Marks, y'all. We got to go to lunch or something.
Yeah, y'all gonna
Yeah,
have to
that's
do
a
some
good one.
couple stuff. So
Yeah.
usually we talk our shit, but this has been so positive and so eye-opening. We
It
are
is.
not going to do my famous talk your shit segment. We'll come back with that next week. Next week we have couples that have been married, divorced, and years later got married again.
Ooh.
Now that's some shit. The Hills need to be on right there.
Yeah.
Look,
We-
y'all need to be on that. I'm like,
We did that journey too.
Yeah.
so okay, so
Call it.
I
Let us
want
know.
to, Sarita, you tell me when to pull.
Pull.
Pull right here. I dropped that first one. Let me see. Merlin Johnson. It says Marilyn Johnson. So that might be Marilyn Johnston for, I don't know. But anyway, you are the winner. I don't have a phone number on here because I usually call them live on the show. You have won $100. This is my crazy ass handwriting. But I think I did this for Serena. Serena, if you are still on here, let me know if this is your ticket holder. I definitely believe that that is Serena's ticket holder. So the thing is, let me take a picture of this ticket so there will be no quarrels before I put it back in. So this raffle, y'all, is so I am an Eastern Star. So this is a raffle that we are doing. It started, we're giving out $2,000, $100 every week. Tickets are $20 each. Tickets are $20 each. So we pull every Wednesday. We pull a ticket. And you will win $100. We still have 6 or 7 weeks left. So
Yes.
again, this is for a nonprofit organization.
Somebody thought you was trying to beat them right here on the ticket.
I mean, who buys stuff with a year ago date on it, though? You know?
No, it's not a year.
I paid $40 for a 4-month-old ticket.
This is not a 4-month-old ticket. The raffle is for 20 weeks, Smooth.
Yeah, that's what she was explaining to me.
Mr. Jones.
But I've seen it. I said,
Kasaji said that's a tons of coffee. Selena Shear said, hello, Karma.
Hey,
So
Selena.
let me go around and thank everybody. First of all, you guys have had the privilege of enjoying Tawanda and Kenneth Marks, who have been married for 35 years and have been together for 42 years. They have given us wisdom, laughter, fun. Okay, Mr. Hill, I got your. Okay, Mr. Hill, put it in. Okay, I'll copy and paste that on my
Go back to
right here. I got it in a private chat. They have been together for 42 years and have given us nuggets. Next, we have Mr. and Mrs. Jones, James Jones Jr. and Karma Davis Jones. They have been together for 18 years. 18 years. They have shared, I mean, Mr. Jones have been raw and just gave it to us authentic and from the gut, which we definitely appreciate that. You can't stay woke if you ain't being honest. So we want to thank them. Been together for 20 years, been married for 18 years. Lastly, first, I'm going to thank God again for allowing me to get in touch with the Hills. This was a very intricate point. I mean, you guys were a very intricate factor in this being a successful session.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being a going back and forth, advice and the information, the tools that you presented in this short amount of time are going to be very effective to those who are listening and the couples that have been on this. So I want to thank Sharita and Dr. Hill. Sharita, are you a doctor too?
No.
Okay.
I'm a life coach.
I don't want to just be trying to call your husband Dr. Look,
First lady doctor.
Right.
Sharita, right, that part. So Sharita and Dr. Hill, thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Audience members, stay wokers, thank you. You guys were so engaged tonight. It's like 100 comments in here already. So you guys were so engaged. To the Hills, y'all can go in because some of the questions were directed to y'all. The Joneses, some questions were directed to y'all, and the Marxes. Please feel free to go in. This is a live stream on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. So you can go on any of those. You can go on any of those platforms and any of those platforms and watch this. If you want to share with family members, friends, and just let them see the nuggets that were dropped tonight. We were blessed to get nuggets. So thank you again. Everybody know you have been. I forgot to give my last shout out. Let me go through and give my shout outs. Because wait a minute, when I don't do it, the people they be calling me after the show. Oh, you didn't say my name. Okay, let me go. We got Karen Culliver, we got Juanita Haynes, Marisa Chapman, Sanji Allen. Those are watching from Texas. 3 of those are watching from Texas. Deborah Jones. Let me see who we got here. Mary Coleman Gould, Marisa Chapman is also watching from Texas. Linda Brown from Omaha, Nebraska. Yes, my Eastern Star sister. My sister. Serena Russell. A lot of people saying stuff to you, Miss Mark. Serena Russell. Jean Pendergrass. Oh man, it's a lot of comments in here, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Mm-hmm. Now, some people are in here, but if they don't comment, if I don't see them as soon as they pop up, Patty J. Morgan, Charlene Melton, Halo Harper. If they don't say nothing, I don't know them. Again, Sanji Allen, Leroyce Love. Thank you for tuning in, Leroyce. Okay, Selena Sheard. Okay, I think that's it. Those are the
Texas, I see you.
Dallas, Sonji.
I see you.
Yeah, those are the people who made comments. So it's more people watching than those that I mentioned. But someone has said I mentioned their name one time, and there's like, oh, I don't be wanting people to know I'm watching. I'm like, they see your name when you pop in. Okay. But okay, thank you for the stars, Reese. Thank you.
A lot of people are saying to do this again, Shantella, too. They're saying that this is very much.
Yeah, this is definitely something that I definitely want to revisit again. It was therapeutic for everybody on here, I believe.
Oh, yeah,
so y'all already know you were tuned in to the hottest podcast in the Midwest, the only podcast that shouts you out in real time and answer questions in real time. We already know what time it is. Before you go to sleep, you got to do what? Blah, blah, blah. Stay low. We are out of here.
Mr. Hill.
We're